Yo, 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 yo. I'm bad, y'all. What's up, people? We is back. We is back. Look. Went off on Mama Duck earlier, y'all. Because I think Mama Duck is the type of parent that's killing that's killing the community. So I came down on her about the lawsuit. But I talked to my man Box Truck. Just talked to my little cousin. And when I get the lawsuit, we're gonna go through it. Because it could have merit. Definitely it could be some merit to it. It could be some merit to it. If they can prove, you know, they probably can go through the numbers, prove that the industry did help, the industry did promote. She might got a thing. A lawsuit. Mike can sting them. I know this probably gonna be a long fight. But see, this the thing. And the most important part is, what's up, G man? Ball out, Clemson. The most important part is to me is, yo, this can kill drill music. FBG Duck, Mama Duck lawsuit can kill drill music. And I'm all for that. I ain't gonna lie. If Dirk gotta be the catalyst, if King Von gotta be the catalyst for drill music to die, I'm cool with that. You feel me? I'm completely cool with that, y'all. And the reason why it can kill drill music is because if she can, you got to send it to me, bro. Send it to my Instagram. If she can, we probably got to. What's up, Cutie Don? If she can prove that this company facilitated and promoted and knew about this beef and not egged it on, but just supported it, that is going to open Pandora's box for a whole lot of lawsuits. Shit, Julio motherfucker around got one. Anybody, any rapper that was murdered on behalf of drill music can now go after these labels. So I think they're going to fight vigorously. You hear me? But if she can pull it off, these labels going to have to do something. The labels are going to have to do something, yo. Dirk is going to have to get cut from the label, dropped. A lot of these drill rappers will get dropped from them labels. They're going to have to. Because at that point, they're a liability. They're no longer an asset. And if Dirk and Von got to be the catalyst of the end drill music, yo, I'm with it. For real. I'm with it 100%. Yeah, but today, y'all, we got a good one, y'all. Law and Crime Network finally explored the Diageo idea with Diddy. But I take issue with some of the things said. Then we got to talk about Jay-Z lawyer. We can go with that first. Jay-Z lawyer spoke out on Jaguar Wright and spoke why they decided to highlight Piers Morgan and get the damn interview shut down. And I got an issue with Choke No Joke too, man. Got an issue with y'all. So yeah, we got a good one today, y'all. But yeah, salute to Mama Duck, yo. Hope she can pull that shit off, yo. Hope she can pull it off for real. Like, honestly. Now, I still feel the way I feel about everything I said about her parenting, yo, because we got an issue with that in our community, yo. We got an issue, yo, with parents not taking accountability for the role that they played in their children's demise, yo. They always looking for outside entities to blame other people. And I can't stand that. I think that's an issue. I think we need to get better at that. Charlene, I think we need to get better at that. But let's get busy though. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Y'all know we go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check out the video I dropped earlier today. I don't know how many notifications went out. Y'all know how they doing a notification tip. Y'all know how they do on a notification tip. Yeah, but Alvin, send me the lawsuit, y'all. My paperwork lady, she ain't sent it to me. She must be busy. Speedy was trying not to laugh at Gloretta accent. All right, so y'all remember the situation with Piers Morgan. Matter of fact, yo, pray for the people of Tampa, man. Matter of fact, let's go there. Listen to this first, though, y'all. Check this out. Look at this, y'all. Did y'all see this? This was, yo, I was so hurt, yo, when I heard this, yo. If I was Charlemagne or Envy or one of them, yo, I'd have had to tell, yo, look, man, hit me, stick around, don't go nowhere. I'd have broke bread with Shorty, man. For real, yo. Like, yo, what's the point of having money, yo, if you can't help out others in need, yo? That's just how I look at it. Like, if I got money, I gotta help people, man. Like, I got to, you know. I feel bad not to.
This call from Tampa, man. Tone from Tampa. What's up, brother? How was everything out there? It look like rain right now, heavy wind, but
Oh, my bad.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck, man. This ain't where it's at, man.
Jason, I wouldn't.
Right in the middle of the eye hitting Tampa from what the map shows right now. Man, bro, my heart, bro. I'm scared, man. And then we still recovering from the lead, and it's like, bro, I want to get this off my chest, bro. This government is playing in our faces, man. It don't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. They playing in our faces, bro. You get Ukraine come over here, they get what they want. You get immigrants come over here, they get what they want. And you got people being denied these FEMA applications that you talking about the other day, Charlemagne. People being denied, bro. But you getting these migrants coming over here, $10,000 food stamps, bro. Fucking goddamn $5,000 cash stipends, man. This shit hurting, bro. We finna get ready to damn near die, bro. A lot of people couldn't afford to evacuate. And this government planning our fucking face, man. Damn. I totally understand, my brother. Absolutely. It don't matter what they is, Democrat, Republican, they all treason, man. They all about money, bro. None of these people care about American people, bro. This shit hurt, bro. Yo, man, this call.
Yo, that's crazy, yo. Yeah, I'd have to break bread with y'all. At least $1,000. Look, y'all, I got, if you put up 500, I put up 500. Yo, we gotta do something for Shorty, man. We gotta do something for him. Matter of fact, let's see what's going on down there before we get into the nonsense. Cause we gotta check on our good people in Tampa. So this live right here. Don't look that bad. Hold on. Y'all, we ready to get busy, y'all. Hold on. We just try to check on Tampa real quick.
No one can build a stronger country for us, so I stepped up after 9/11. Today, I'm fighting price gouging corporations to lower costs and protect Western PA jobs. Because a stronger country starts right here.
A .world domain name that immerses, inspires.
See how they are doing, because there's one particular pocket that is very concerned, that is very vulnerable, and there is a concern there for that storm surge, which again is more than 5 feet at this hour. We have not reached high tide, so
storm surge 5 feet.
Kind of hunkered down here for as long as we need to, and we're getting more wind gusts. We're hearing the
I don't see no rain though.
Signs again. They're getting pretty loud. That's just how gusty the winds are. Again, 15 mile per hour at least in this particular area. You know, one thing that we're hearing from officials is that about 30,000 people have lost power in this area, and that number seems to be climbing. When it comes to people that evacuated, we don't have a total number of how many people left, but we have heard from officials that there are about 1,900 people that have gone to their shelters. They have about 9 total, including one that's open for special needs. These are people that need generators because they have medical devices that cannot lose power. So they've got people in that shelter. They've got a couple of shelters for people with pets. We've seen people, leaving the area, getting supplies, preparing for this storm. So we are hoping that everyone in Naples is safe. We know that law enforcement is still responding to emergency calls, unlike some other areas where they have had to suspend those emergency services because it is too dangerous for even law enforcement to be out there. But our hope is that people are being safe and that they are hunkered down. And as this storm passes, hopefully we'll get a better sense of the damage out there once we can leave this garage and head to lower ground. Tom?
Dana Griffin for us tonight, live from Naples. Dana, we thank you for that. We're going to take a quick break. More from Hurricane Milton, live in Sarasota.
It don't look like it's that bad yet, y'all. I mean, what the damn? That's water. Yeah, I seen a picture of the highways. All right, we ready. I just wanted to check on that, man. Pray for everybody down there going through that. I'm from Baltimore, yo. We ain't never had to experience nothing like that. Like, when they say we getting hurricanes and stuff, man, they be about minor as hell.
That car just stalled out. Looks like it's not moving.
Look at this.
Now. Hopefully they will get out of their car and get to a safe area
Swimming
as soon
alligators.
as possible. And we've actually been seeing some people swimming through the area. Alligators swimming through the area. I'm listening to my producer.
Fucking alligators,
in my
y'all.
ear here, and they've seen some alligators passing by. So this is another reason why you don't want to get into this mess. I mean, my friend likes to call it Jurassic Florida. That car just stalled out. Looks like it's not moving now. Hopefully they will get out of their car and get to a safe area.
There's a car right there and alligators right there.
And we've actually been seeing some people swimming through the area.
Yo, that's crazy.
Alligators swimming through the area.
That's the thing about that water down there. They be having alligators. All right, y'all. But y'all remember Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan interviewed Jaguar Wright. Y'all know how I feel about Jaguar Wright. We right here from Chuck No Joke, whatever the fuck his name is. He had some things to say about Jaguar Wright. And this is Jay-Z lawyer right here. He sat down with TMZ and he broke down the reasons why they decided to highlight Piers Morgan and make him issue an apology.
That somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality.
That somebody comes on a show
or what have you and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, he didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drown out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not
Jaguar lying, bro.
take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up or what have you, and lifted it up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I've always believed that the truth will come out in courtroom and make sure right.
Think about platforms. Well, this page, y'all know he's issued an apology.
Everyone has a platform, as long as there's something to.
We talked about that yesterday. Y'all know how I feel about Jaguar Wright. I think she's full of shit. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about her later on in the video. But y'all remember, yo, we probably was the first platform, Sleep to My little cousin, Sleep the Box Truck, who told everybody that, yo, this lawsuit and this whole Diddy situation is about Diageo. We called it Diego at the time. We didn't have the name right. Umar Johnson copied it. But now on day 15, Law and Crime Network is finally exploring the possibility that Diageo has something to do with this Diddy situation. So they actually went into the lawsuit. So I want to go through that, y'all, with y'all, because I take some issue too with some of the things that were said. Take some issue with some of the things that were said. And we're going to, oh, I forgot, Charleston White. Oh, man, we got to talk about Charleston White, y'all. For real. We got to talk about Charleston White. That like button, y'all. What's up, Ty?
Combs is no stranger to legal maneuvering. As a businessman, he was involved in a lot of different industries. Music, media, fashion, and of course, liquor. And those endeavors didn't always go smoothly. As Combs faces federal criminal charges plus ongoing civil sexual assault lawsuits, we are taking a closer
Bonjour.
at a lawsuit
My man out, my people's out in France.
that some believe may have helped kickstart his apparent downfall.
Hey, yo, fuck no.
Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, it is certainly hard to avoid Sean Diddy Combs these days.
Now, we ain't got to hear all this nonsense.
So many details every day. We're digging into Combs' past, how it could be impacted, let alone federal courts. I could go on and on about how I think that's a big mistake, but that's a sidebar for a different day. But what we are going to have are probably courtroom sketches. We'll hear accounts from people.
Kamala Harris is lying, saying she
hit that like button, y'all. Share the live, y'all. We ready to rock. I know everybody going live at 11 o'clock now, but I'm telling you, before it's all said and done, we're going to make them fold. You hear me?
Maybe live reporting, but it won't be like the Johnny Depp trial where our cameras capture the whole thing, unfortunately. So, but going back to lawsuits, the lawsuit that seemed to have kicked things off in a very big way was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, who we've talked about a lot. Cassie, as she has come to be known. She claimed that Combs had systematically groomed and abused her for a decade, and that Combs, remember, he settled that lawsuit the very next day. Now, he denied the allegations. We know what happened. He was hit with a lot of other lawsuits after that, and then the raids and the criminal charges came. Okay. But at the same time that all these lawsuits, these sexual abuse lawsuits...
Send to my email then, bro.
Combs was dealing with something else. He was dealing with another lawsuit that he filed.
Send it Jason Bourne 593. Jason Bourne, BORN 593 at gmail.com.
Months earlier, accusing his longtime business partner, Diageo, of racism. And that is what we want to talk about today. And to do that, I want to bring in criminal defense and civil rights attorney Tyler Bailey to talk more about this. Tyler, thanks so much for coming on.
Now, this guy right here pissed me off. They always seem to find one of these motherfuckers to talk, but we're going to let it rock.
What is your reaction to the current situation that Sean Combs finds himself in? Because as I mentioned, it wasn't bad enough that he was facing a number of lawsuits. It wasn't bad enough that his homes are raided. It wasn't bad enough that he, was hit with federal charges. But now, 100 more lawsuits could be on the horizon, and you have to wonder if he could be hit with additional charges.
Hey, y'all, they need to stop mentioning them lawsuits till they file. Stop mentioning them 100 lawsuits until they are filed, y'all. Please. Like, yo, that's the shit the media do that I can't stand. Now, one of them lawsuits been filed yet. Why they keep mentioning it? We just 5 days from now, man. They might not even get filed.
As a result of that.
Well, when it rains, it pours. And for Sean Diddy Combs, it appears as if...
Hit that like button, y'all.
He's in jail. Bond has been denied. Countless lawsuits. For somebody who was arguably a billionaire to be in the position that he's in now has to be, a complete 180 and shocking for him. All these lawsuits. I mean, at some point, the money could dry up. His assets could be frozen. I mean, there's a lot that I'm pretty sure he's thinking about while trying to defend himself and probably protect his mental state while incarcerated.
But if y'all remember, y'all, that's what I told you these lawsuits was for. These lawsuits is to drain his bank account so he can't fight the case. Like, it's all done intentionally. You feel me? Like, none of this is happening by mistake. They're coming with these lawsuits, hoping they can sting him for some more money after they made him sell everything. So he should have some cash. So they're coming with these lawsuits to drain him financially. So if they can stretch the case long enough and he got to keep paying a lawyer, eventually he's going to exhaust his funds. I'm sure he got some rich friends, though. But it's all tactic.
Now, to be clear, there are a number of defenses he could raise, both for the civil lawsuits and the criminal charges.
You ain't got to be here limiting.
Everybody's not telling the truth. This was all consensual.
It's the reason I do it this way.
The problem for him will be if he's hit with charges related to minors, perhaps the solicitation of minors. The reason I bring that up is because when you have at least 25 people who are going to come forward in these lawsuits, this is according to Tony Busby, that says they were minors when they were abused. Do you think Sean Combs is going to be hit with a superseding indictment, like an amended indictment, a new indictment, where charges related to minors will be a part of it?
Well, I think if there's some credible
I don't know, bro.
that are gathered,
I'll check after this.
Additional possible civil actions, they would probably have an obligation to bring a superseding indictment. And Jesse, you know this, the feds don't investigate and bring cases unless they're strong. They have a high conviction rate. So yes, he can raise defenses. Anybody can raise a defense. Now, overcoming the federal government is a tough challenge for people who are even at the means as Sean Diddy Combs does here. So if there are allegations that there were minors involved, we could very much see something of that sort, more charges.
Charlene, you funny as shit.
By the way, as I was going through this lawsuit, it made me think, how skilled you have to be.
No, mainly be a member of the channel, bro.
And particularly,
most of my Mars members.
Injury cases, those can be very, very
not all of them.
They can be emotional. But that is why we are proud to partner with our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury professional alcoholic beverage. You get paid. The whole process can be done /LC sidebar. So I want to talk about Diageo. This is something we haven't talked about in a while. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, this is an international alcoholic beverage company. It's based in London. It is a major distributor of Scotch whiskey, producing major brands like Johnny Walker, but they also have other liquors in their portfolio over the years. A lot of brands: Ciroc, Smirnoff, Bailey's, Tanqueray. They also own Guinness. And I want to talk about
Don Julio,
because in 2007, Sean Combs signed a deal with Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka. Many of you might remember those campaigns. But then in 2013, he purchased the brand De Leon tequila with Diageo. This is an interesting partnership. And Combs claimed that when Diageo bought competing tequila brands like Don Julio and Casamigos, they stopped giving De Leon as much attention. And Combs said it was because he was black. And he didn't just imply that. He stated that in a lawsuit. I want you to take a look at some of the first lines of this lawsuit that he filed against Diageo. It was filed on behalf of Combs Wine and Spirits, LLC. It reads, quote, "Cloaking itself in the language of diversity and equality is good for Diageo's business, but it is a lie. While Diageo..."
Now remember, y'all, Diddy said he basically was a what is it called? DEI hire? Like he hired him for he was hired for diversity and inclusion. So you gotta keep that in mind. They didn't want to bring him on. Like, it ain't like they seek Diddy or Diddy wouldn't have had a business. No, they got with Diddy for one particular reason, because they needed some color in the building. So keep that in mind. You know, they're not gonna say that on Law Crime Network.
Include images of its black partners and advertising.
Right, in HB. And that's the shit that pissed me off, HB. The thing that pissed me off about this whole thing, right, is that Diddy rocked out with these people for 15 years, y'all. 15 years. Took Ciroc from here to there. So it was like, it's like in that sense, you would think that people would play fair with him. You know, we done made a lot of money. You done made a lot of money. Business is running great. So you would think in that sense, it's like, all right, Now on the back end, I want my own brand. My own. And the crazy thing about it is all these years, yo, we thought Diddy owned Ciroc. That's why we supported it the way we did. But he never owned it. He was just an ambassador. He was just a face. So with Diageo, with the fuck is the name of that brand? That brand he had, he owned that. And this was Diddy's chance to, probably not separate from Diageo, but build his own empire. And, he can have his own brands. But look at what happened.
Its words only provide the illusion of inclusion. As Combs Wines and Sean Combs have experienced firsthand, Diageo, by and through its parent company's chief executive officer, Ivan Menendez, has proven unwilling to treat its black partners equally, even when explicitly required by contract to do so. The complaint goes on to say that...
Hey, too real. I'm glad you said that. They are very, very powerful. And they're American.
Diageo has treated.
Let me go back. I'll keep pausing. I want to read straight through.
It's good for Diageo's business, but it is a lie. While Diageo may conspicuously include images of its black partners in advertising materials and press releases, its words only provide the illusion of inclusion. As Combs Wines and Sean Combs have experienced firsthand, Diageo, by and through its parent company's chief executive officer, Ivan Menendez, has proven unwilling to treat its black partners equally, even when explicitly required by contract to do so.
Yeah, I like that either, G, man.
Rather than equal treatment, Diageo has treated Mr. Combs and his brands worse than others because he is black. Diageo has typecasted Ciroc and De Leon, apparently deciding they are black brands that should be targeted only to urban consumers. Diageo's president of Reserve and New Business, Stephen Rust, directly acknowledged the company's racist undertones in 2019, telling Mr. Combs that some within Diageo's leadership resented him for making too much money. He also admitted that Mr. Combs' race was part of the reason Diageo limited the neighborhoods where the Combs brands were distributed. If Mr. Combs were...
So Diageo president of Business Reserve and New Businesses, Stephen Rust, directly acknowledged the company's racist undertones in 2019, telling Mr. Combs that some within Diageo leadership resented him for making too much money. He also admitted that Mr. Combs' race was part of the reason Diageo limited the neighborhood where Combs brands were distributed. If Mr. Combs were Martha Stewart, Mr. Russ said things would be different. Yo, that is serious. Remember what I told y'all? I said, yo, Diddy lawsuit had to have some real merit. It had to have some real merit, yo. That's why they were so scared. That's why they had to do something. They had to make a move. And another thing I told y'all too is these lawsuits, at least Cassie lawsuit, was in the wind for a long time, yo. It was in the wind, from what I understand. And Diddy was being cocky about it. He was being arrogant about it. So what Diddy should have done was solve that before it got out there in the open. And I think these people knew about it as well. But I'm gonna let them continue.
For Martha Stewart, Mr. Russ said things would be
Yeah.
So Tyler,
T-Rail, you already, you on it.
There. What were your reactions to that? What's your reaction to that?
Well, do a podcast.
Are claims like this tough to prove?
You work hard.
So the question is claims like this tough to prove? Now I take issue with this lawyer.
Claims like this are extremely tough to prove, especially at that level. But, language like this is not uncommon in lawsuits that are alleging any facts concerning.
And yo, what they failed to mention too was Diddy was suing for billions, not millions, not hundreds of thousands, not even hundreds of millions. Diddy was suing this company for billions. You see what Too Real said in the comments. But Too Real said in the comments is very important, yo, because that's really what we dealing with. We dealing with companies that damn near run the fucking world. And when I first talked about this, I said, I don't know if Diddy may have been on one of them, maybe Diddy was on one of them binges. You feel me? When he decided to go against these people. But this is the thing, yo, you shouldn't have to be that way. If I always told y'all business is dirty. Business is dirtier than the streets. Everybody get the streets a hard time. Yo, but high level business is way worse. It's way worse. But in a perfect world, you would think that, yo, if you're getting done wrong, you should at least be able to handle it business-wise. You know, we're going to keep it all business. But when Diddy alleged racism, yo, that is a company killer. In the climate that we in right now, racism is a company killer. But I think Diddy had valid reasons to believe that these people was racist. From some of the things you heard the director, I don't know if it's the director of finance or whoever he was, you heard he said he told Diddy this out of his mouth. It's some people around here that don't like the fact that you're making this much money. But why? Like, yo, it's crazy to me. Why they don't like the fact that out of all the people y'all working with, he making this much money. But he put the work in. He put the work in. Wait till y'all listen to the numbers that Diddy took Ciroc when he first got a hold of it into how it was when he left it. They is, man. They is doing them dirty. And now people wonder why I've been speaking how I've been speaking about it. Because it's not about, this whole thing ain't about victims. So it ain't hard for me to, you know, move them out the way and look at the bigger cause, what's really going on. And what's really going on is that as a black man in America, yo, even if you play by these rules, you play by their rules. You can take a product from fucking 0 to 100, from A to fucking Z, and these people still will fuck you over in there. Still will fuck you over in there. After you, and all you try to do is get what you was promised. This was a deal that they had. I'm gonna help you with this, and now when it's time for when it's time for me to shine, just don't get in the way. How's that? Yo, that shouldn't be that much to ask for. When it's time for me to shine, don't get in the way. I don't just, you know, business as usual. But that's not what these people did, y'all. They ain't carry it that way.
Racial discrimination. Now, the fact that Mr. Combs, who's an astute businessman, decided to file this lawsuit knowing everything else that he had going on may have not been the smartest thing on his front. But they're hard to claim. I'm not surprised by the allegations because, you know, in lawsuits, lawyers, we put some flamboyant language in our lawsuits, but you have to back them up with facts. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Combs and the lawyers believe that the facts justified that type of language in the lawsuit.
I thought the phrase "illusion of inclusion" was great. That's a sticking.
Man, that's why we fighting against it, Earl.
So going
we
back,
fighting against it.
I have to let everybody know that if you were reading this lawsuit, but particularly if you're not, I have to let you know that parts of this lawsuit are completely redacted. We do not know what they say whatsoever. For example, the sections that talk about what exactly was in the contract.
I gotta get that whole lawsuit.
Combs Wine and Diageo completely redacted. By the way, Tyler, why would that be the case?
Well, there may be some trade privileges there, some information that's protected and could go to their underlying business strategy and how they decide to enter into partnerships. So they probably did not want that information being public and disseminated broadly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But Combs does say that
I
he
agree.
was able to leverage his influence to market Ciroc vodka, saving a struggling brand. The complaint states, quote, Mr. Combs' impact is proven by the numbers. In 2007, Ciroc sold only about 75,000 cases per year. In just 2 years after Mr. Combs began promoting Ciroc, annual sales grew to about 400,000 cases.
In 2 years, y'all.
Sales of Ciroc had grown by over 3,000% since Mr. Combs began marketing it to approximately 2.6 million cases sold per year. Due to the power, reach, and efforts of Mr. Combs, Ciroc went from just another vodka to a billion-dollar spirit brand known by millions. Tyler, I'll just stop right
there. Yo, how can't you play fair, y'all? How can't you play fair, y'all? You feel me? Yo, that's why I be coming at it the way I be coming at it, because I knew this. You know, for people that been keeping up with our coverage, we already went through all of this. It's like, yo, how can't you play fair with the man, yo? That's all people ask for, yo, play fair. And this is the thing. They create this, you know, they tell people, oh, you can, as long as you put the work in and hard work pays off, you can get whatever you want getting. But yo, that's not the case. Not unless you got to play completely by the rules set. Meanwhile, everybody around you is breaking them. They expect you to be the only one to play by the rules while they make and break the rules and twist and turn and bend the rules whenever they feel like it. But the minute you try to bend the rules, you got a Diddy situation. You understand? You got indictments. You got lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits being thrown all over the place. You got motherfucking tapes being sold on the black market. Yo, like, yo, this is insane, y'all. It's fucked up. And it don't matter that it's Diddy. It could have been Joe Smo from down the street. Yo, you don't supposed to do people like this, man. Not saying Diddy ain't do no fucked up business himself, you know. But what it looks like from on Diageo and Diddy in, he did straight business with them people, man. Why you can't do straight business back? Why you can't do straight business back? We always, you know, ain't like he fucked them over. Y'all seen the numbers. He turned them up. But see, this is the thing too, y'all. Before I switch back to them. I think another thing too was they didn't want Diddy to become competition. You know, if they see they see the numbers that he pulled, they probably was jealous for one, because they don't got the influence. They couldn't do those numbers. They probably didn't like the fact that they had to use him to do them numbers. But if Diddy could have gotten a distribution, he was gonna be a motherfucking problem. It's gonna be a problem. We don't need him on the same level as us, you know, because he got the streets. We ain't got the streets. You know, we ain't, you know, we got some, you know, we got some high level business partners, but he got the streets. He got the consumer. You get the consumer, you got the world. You understand what I'm saying? My bad. Hey, Jackson, kid, you funny as hell.
Remember, everybody equipped Rock with Sean Combs.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in the mid, 2000s to probably 2007 to 2014 or so, where if you're going out to the club, you're going out, you're drinking Ciroc. The Ciroc boys. He was promoting Ciroc anywhere he went. He brought a bottle of Ciroc with him, and I didn't know what Ciroc was before Diddy. I think that shows you, what he brought to the company. I think it sounds reasonable.
In my days of going out back in the day, this is before my married life, I remember everybody equated it. Every time Ciroc came out, it was like, oh, Diddy, like that was the brand.
The brand man promoted the fuck out of Ciroc.
So I can see those numbers. Again, I can't confirm them, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually true. But Combs claims that when he and Diageo...
Why he keep saying he can't confirm them? Like, yo, you reading a document that a lawyer filed. He gonna lie in the documents? Is the lawyer gonna lie to the company about what the motherfucker? Like, yo, why are you saying you can't confirm it, yo? It's a way to diminish Diddy's claim. That's why he doing it. That's why I be telling y'all about they paid and brought. You understand? The only reason he was saying that because he wanted to diminish the value of Diddy claims. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, the lawyer is sending that to the company. Why would he send fake figures or fake numbers to the company? Don't make absolutely no sense. Y'all already know HB. That's why we got, independent shit.
Buy, market, and sell De Leon tequila. Diageo promised to help with distribution and investment. Combs claims that never happened, and instead the focus was put on other newly acquired brands like I mentioned. He even accuses Diageo of changing the bottle for the tequila to a more inferior material and then launched it without any sort of marketing to the customer. The lawsuit says, while Diageo has undoubtedly violated its contractual obligations and unfairly...
Hey, I ain't never seen no De Leon commercial. I ain't never see, like we seen Ciroc. Yo, think about Ciroc, y'all, for the people that's old enough at its peak. Yo, Ciroc was everywhere. It wasn't just Diddy promoting it. It was everywhere. They did not, it's obvious that they did not put the same money. They did not put the same time. They did not put the same effort into De Leon. It's obvious. It's obvious. Because he getting done wrong, Night Owl. He getting done wrong, man. That's why.
Lined its own pockets. This case is not an ordinary contract dispute in which a party chooses to disregard its contractual promises due to greed and profit. Rather, and similar to the realities experienced by many people of color in the United States, Diageo's treatment of its business relationship with Mr. Combs was tainted by racial prejudices. Tyler, your thoughts on that?
You know, on the surface, without knowing more, it's kind of hard to see.
We're not talking, it's not about that.
One way or the other. Now, here's one thing to think about that I've been thinking about.
Not innocent of what he did to Cassie.
Diageo started to lose faith in Mr. Combs as a businessman due to having information that the public did not know about these parties, about all these different allegations. And they started to slowly start to change their business model in another direction. Rather than partnering with Mr. Combs, they could have been they could be foreshadowing or seeing a demise there. And so that could be the reason. Maybe it wasn't racial. I'm not sure. But on the surface, we can't tell. I'm sure Mr. Combs in his position believes it was.
Yo, that's the part I wanted. Yo, what the fuck was that? He just tried to get these people out. You know, maybe they saying the lawsuits was on a rise, and so they fell back for Mr. Well, make that clear. If that's the case, why did they make it clear to Combs? Why they ain't make it clear to Diddy? I think that's a bunch of bullshit, and that's what pissed me off because I watched this earlier, and that's what pissed me off about this whole thing. And it's like that was the reason for this video, you know, to give him an out. No, it wasn't about race. No, maybe they just saying that these lawsuits was coming. Yo, this 120 lawsuits wouldn't have never came. Oh, alleged, you know, because they haven't even filed them. Most of these lawsuits, we had never heard of them if Diddy didn't have this back and forth or this beef with these people that's in high positions. You understand? But what Cho just tried to do is give him an out without no facts to back it, no proof to back it. All we can go off is what the fuck we know. We ain't know nothing about these lawsuits. I doubt if Diageo, they knew how Diddy was rocking. They knew how Diddy was rocking in 0-7. Diddy was been living like this. It's a rock star lifestyle, y'all. And I hate, and it's another thing, because they're going to bring, in the next video we're going to watch with Piers Morgan, they try to relate it to hip-hop. No, this is a rock star lifestyle. It ain't just rappers that live like this. It's sex parties. It's drug-induced sex parties. That's how these people live. That's how they operate. That's their lifestyle. And what's it called? Diageo knew this about Diddy going in. Because like my man said, they hire private investigators before they back you or before they put your face on their brand. They're going to make sure you rock. They're going to make sure you know, they don't want you to do anything that come back on them. You understand? So I'm not buying that. I think that was a whole bunch of BS. And I'm mad that he even said it on this platform where 90,000 people got a chance to watch it.
But if it was based on some sort of racial bias, that would seem to be doing business in bad faith. But in business deals, it's easy to...
Who is sending them? Where do bots come from? This is the second time somebody said that. How do bots find your channel? And how the fuck do you remove them? Like I don't know nothing about no goddamn bots. Yeah, they're not gonna talk about the rock and rolls, but they the ones they was living like this first. You feel me? Rock stars was living like this fucking first. The hurricane, but the are you out there in Tampa? Man, pray for everybody out there in Tampa, y'all. In that whole Florida region. Yo, but I don't do no bots, y'all, for people. I don't know how bots find your page, but I ain't never operate like that. Everything I do is authentic.
That's a really good point, huh? I mean,
Look at
we
him.
don't know, maybe yet, but that's really interesting. I wonder if any executives from Diageo would be called as potential witnesses in a criminal case, but you kind of make me think of it now. That
No,
might
Jesse,
wanted to sever
can I mention
ties.
one thing?
Yeah.
So think about this. If you were a global
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Straight up, 4-0.
Just to boost your income. Instead,
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's how they live, man.
distributor of wine and beverages, and you were going to enter into a multi-year contractual obligation with somebody who's arguably one of the biggest stars in the world, you know they're not going to a deal like that without doing thorough due diligence, looking into
Then why'd you say what you just said then?
financial position. They're not going to just see somebody who has $1 million or $2 million and say, hey, let's sign the contract for 7 years. We're going to be business partners. So they probably knew information that they were privy to that Mr. Combs may have not even knew that they knew.
But then if you couple that with what the indictment says,
Remember what I told y'all?
Criminal conduct.
They keep talking about coercion. I think Cassie could have been coerced. Remember I said that a while ago? These people know what they're dealing with. I think Cassie could have been coerced. That's just allegedly. Just my speculation. Because all these things happen simultaneously. All of them. Is it too far to stretch the imagination to think she could have been coerced in the filing this lawsuit? Because one thing for sure, two things for certain. Cassie ain't going up against Diddy by herself. We gotta know that. We gotta be smart enough to know that. She is not going up against Diddy by herself. She'll be a fool. She'll be a fool. Now, they'll never tell you this. But that's what Keepers You News for.
Since 2008. So they should have known at the time they entered into the agreement with them that they really did the due diligence what might have been happening. So it does become, I'm not taking away with what you're saying, but it does become interesting if they did know something when they found out. Now, Combs said...
The feds leaked the tape.
He didn't even mention the allegation you put forward, which I think is a really interesting way to put this. But he says this was race.
Right.
And he says he wasn't the first black entrepreneur to encounter problems with the Diageo company. Because the complaint says, quote, groundbreaking black artist Pharrell Williams alleged in a lawsuit filed in 2013 that despite entering a 3-year contract to produce and distribute his alcoholic beverage, Q Cream, Diageo shut down the partnership in breach of the parties' agreement after just 2 years. Even more recently, Ebony Major, the first black blender at a major whiskey distillery, filed suit against Diageo for discrimination. After she created a bourbon called Blenders Select, Diageo sent Miss Major on a publicity tour to promote it. Yet Miss Major left just a few months later alleging persistent racial hostility, including pay discrepancies and demeaning treatment by coworkers. So Tyler, we talked earlier about...
They got a history. They did it to Pharrell. They did it to this woman. And now they was trying to do it to Diddy. That's why I be standing with him, yo, because he tried to take a stand, yo. You can't keep allowing people to run over top of you. That's why I don't like the fact that ain't none of these artists, none of his friends are speaking up. It's because it's like, yo, if you say nothing in these situations, like, yo, somebody got to kick the door in. Somebody got to, you know, but it's like when you say nothing, you just sitting around waiting on your turn. You waiting on your time to shine. You waiting for them to cross you. And it's like, yo, why do that, yo, when you see what's going on now? Why not back this man? Why not take a stand so it don't happen no more? But we don't got them type of people, yo. We got a lot of people that tuck their tail. They ain't standing on nothing. You know, they more worried about money over everything. They're not scared to lose $1. That's what I was saying. That's why I was talking them other videos. It's like, yo, at sometimes you got to be willing to lose, yo, for the greater good of the people. the greater good of the cause. But we don't have none of that no more. Because everybody then prioritize money. Nobody cares about integrity no more. Nobody cares about doing what's right. Now you got this company got a history of racism. And all the lawsuits is alleging it's almost the same thing. Racism. Hostile work environment. And another thing that they didn't mention in this long crime whatever video is that the way Diddy found out that they was doing them dirty is because Diddy sent some people to Mexico to check on the distribution of his tequila, and they didn't have any agave planted. None, yo. So what do you do in that situation? Do you just accept it? Do you sit back and say, oh no, do you go holler at them people and let them tell you, oh no, we got you, it's just taking a little bit of time? Or do you be proactive? Or do you take a stand and say, yo, y'all not gonna keep doing this to me, man? Y'all not gonna, I didn't work with y'all for too many years, made y'all too much money. Yeah, I made some money too. Yo, but I can't allow y'all to just step on. No, he said they didn't have no plants. None. Like, yo, that was high level disrespect, yo. Like, they showed that man no respect. They never liked the fact that he was there. They never liked the fact that he was getting money. And this was the time they showed him. Like, you think we ready to let you possibly become a competitor of ours? We seen what you can do. Nah, we're going to start your growth. And that's what they did. They started his growth. And he reacted the way he probably should have reacted. I just don't think Diddy expected this. And then he got the whole black community turning on him. Like, yo, it's crazy, yo, the way we allow our media or the media to shape our opinion, yo. We got to start big. We got to become better, yo, with that, yo. We can't keep allowing the media to tell us what to think. We got to be independent thinkers, man. We got to be free thinkers. But we're not. The media tell you who to like, when to like them, when not to like them. And, yo, it's like a fucking, what's a herd mentality? It's like a herd mentality. No, they was going to be, but De Leon was going to be his. They was just going to be distributing it. It was going to be his, man. That's why, you know how major that was going to be? For him to have his own company, his own brand, completely his. And they just was going to distribute it just because of the strength of the money he made them and the fact that he showed them he do good business. But they ain't want that. They shut them down. Yo, hit that like button, y'all. We got 35 likes. Yo, why don't nobody like my videos, man? Like, I be watching other people's lives. They be having 1,000 likes. Yo, damn.
How these cases might be difficult to prove, but if you can show a pattern, that would be incredibly important for your case, right?
Thank you, whoever did that. Appreciate it.
And these are credible people who made similar allegations. So I think that definitely
thank you.
Mr. Combs' position. And in any civil case, when you're trying to prove your case, having prior instances of similar allegations helps further prove, that they may have a viable claim. And unlike the criminal case, it's just 51%. That's all you need.
Hey, two buddies, it is game time.
I think he did have a I think Diddy had a valuable claim, and I think some people was panicking because they couldn't take that hit. Diddy was suing for billions, and if you was here when Too Real made that comment, these people had some powerful people that was invested in them. And I told y'all in probably the second video I did, a lot of people was going to lose a fucking hell of a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money, and they couldn't, we can't lose this money. Yeah, we did them wrong. And that's the fucked up part. Yeah, we did them wrong. Intentionally. But we can't let them win. And they came after him, and that's what the fuck we saying right now, That's what I've been telling people for the longest time. That's what I've been saying for about 2-3 weeks now. Like, they did them wrong, and they still couldn't let them win. Alexis, what it is? Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. You know, we just try to keep it real, man. You know, we rarely ever go with everybody else say, ever. You always gonna get a different perspective over here.
It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. Preponderance of the evidence trying to show that the facts are more in favor of one side than the other.
Appreciate it.
More likely than not, right? More likely than not.
That's right.
So Combs' legal team alleges that they tried to go through all of these different business channels to try to get things fixed, but they were stonewalled. So Combs files this lawsuit. He was actually looking for injunctive relief, including as well as damages, but forcing this company, Diageo, to fulfill its contractual obligations. Well, in response to the lawsuit, which was filed in June of 2023, Diageo denied the claims, saying Combs was resorting to false and reckless allegations in an effort to extract additional billions from the company. And they claim actually it was Combs who wasn't giving the brands as much attention as they deserved. They wrote, quote, despite having made nearly $1 billion over the course of our 15-year relationship, Mr. Combs contributed a total of $1,000.
Why they gotta talk about how much money he made? Despite having made nearly $1 billion, why is his money and the money he made so important to them? Why are they worried about what he made? If Diddy made $1 billion, they made 10. Or they made $1 billion. Because my man, like they had a 50-50 partnership. So we both made $1 billion. But why are y'all so focused on what I made? The only reason I would think is because they never wanted them to make it. They never wanted them to make it. That's the only reason I think that would be brought up. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, y'all. We're on the way to 19K. We should have 19K before this live over, y'all. Straight up. You're only like 100 away.
And refused to honor his commitments. Mr. Combs' bad faith actions have clearly breached his contracts and left us no choice but to move to dismiss his baseless complaint and end our business relationship. Tyler, there's always two sides to a story.
And this basis, and that's what happened, y'all. So what wound up happening is after the Cassie situation blew up, Diageo and Diddy got together and they decided to mutually part ways. Somebody said Diddy got $250 million. I didn't see that. I know he probably got some money, but he left with nothing. He don't even got daily on no more. He left with nothing. And even at that rate, y'all won. Even if y'all had to pay the man a couple $. No, I take that back. What it looked like to me, they wanted to use Diddy. They didn't want to play fair with him, but they didn't want to get rid of him either. And I think that's where the anger and the animosity came from. Because look how much money he made them people. They know he can do it again. Diddy still got influence. He still got the culture. He can do it again. But Diddy probably was going to take his business elsewhere. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to allow that to happen. You understand what I'm saying? And they didn't want him to, they just didn't want him to grow, man. They didn't want him to grow, and they was upset, because the thought of Diddy taking his business elsewhere and growing another brand to the point or to the level that he grew Ciroc. Fuck no. We can't allow that. We gonna get his ass. He think he ready to beat us. He think he ready to walk away. Even though we got everything. But he think he ready to walk away and take his brain, his resources, his you understand, his understanding of business elsewhere? No. We got his ass. Cassie. Hey, Cassie. You remember that situation that happened at the hotel? Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, your business get dirty, man. It get dirty, y'all. It gets dirty, man.
There always are two sides to the story, but of course they're going to deny it. I mean, they would never admit it. It sounds like, saying Combs only contributed $1,000 towards the relationship. I mean, I think that's a stretch. We all have seen the efforts that he's done on social media and building the brand. I've heard of this tequila brand before, so some things aren't necessarily shouldn't be counted in dollars and cents. But of course, they're going to deny these allegations.
Look,
let's see how it ties back to.
He even said something about it.
Current situation.
He even said something about it. I didn't peep that last time when I first watched it. Why did the money he made, that should not been a point of contention? That's not important. We all made money. It's almost like y'all, they wanted Diddy to just accept it. Take it. And y'all know I ain't with that. You gotta stand on something. Fuck that. If you feel like you been done wrong, you better fucking speak. But it's like, yo, they wanted Diddy to just take the disrespect. You know what I mean? Take the disrespect, yo. You better not say nothing. I know we know we doing you wrong, but you better sit here and you better be a good boy and take it. And he went against the grain.
Know that just a few months later, in November of 2023, Cassandra Ventura would file her lawsuit against Combs, making very public, very graphic allegations against him. Again, Combs settled that lawsuit the next day. The exact details of that settlement weren't released. But then we fast forward to January of 2024, Diageo announced that Combs had withdrawn all of his allegations, that they no longer had a business relationship with him. Combs said he would voluntarily dismiss his lawsuit against Diageo with prejudice. That means it's final. He can't bring that lawsuit back again in the future. He won't refile it. Tyler, you know what I'm going to ask you. Do you think it was these sexual assault lawsuits that played a role in his decision to end this lawsuit against Diageo?
I 100% think it was. I think that Mr. Combs, when he decided to become a plaintiff and enter into litigation, there's things discovery, subpoena power. He has to give up information to participate in the litigation. So I think that once he realized that the lawyers could start, prying, have a legal justification to do so, and that information could be revealed more broadly, he tried to remove himself from all types of litigation as quickly as possible. That's what it seems like on the surface, whether it's the Diageo lawsuit or quickly settling with Miss Ventura shortly after that.
Do you think it was also a matter of finances? He's being hit with multiple lawsuits, probably thought more were going to be coming, maybe even anticipated that he could face criminal charges. He's trying to say, you know what, this is not the fight we want right now. We need to save our money and resources for everything else.
Definitely. I think that, it's hard to fight a lot of different battles on many fronts. I mean, just think about it. He has a public opinion that's changing on Mr. Combs. You got possible criminal charges.
I can see that too, Ray.
At the time. He knows he's probably a target of a federal investigation. He has his own business to run, his family to take care of, and he wanted to participate as a plaintiff in a $1 billion lawsuit with a global liquor and wine distributor. I mean, that's a lot on one person's plate. Regardless.
Y'all gotta remember, y'all, high level business is a leverage game. That's why you think Diddy the only person that walk around with tapes. That's why these motherfuckers had these parties and they recorded, because it's a leverage game. It's all about what I got over top of you. This is business. This is, this is mafioso type shit. Like, yo, it is about leverage. If I got you in a compromising situation and I got it on camera, you can't tell me no. As dirty as it may sound, you can't tell me no, because I drop these tapes and ruin your whole image, ruin your whole empire. So look, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Is you gonna let me get in this business or what? Look, I got 50 million. What's up? No, I want 80. Man, look, I got somebody trying to buy these tapes right now. I'll leak them. Like, yo, it's a dirty game, yo. And this is how these people play. And this is what I've been telling y'all from probably for 3 weeks now. Like, yo, this is a dirty game. It's a dirty game, man. But it shouldn't be dirty between business partners who was playing fair with each other. It looked like he was playing fair. It looked like he played more than fair. But they just couldn't fathom the fact that no matter how much he helped them with Ciroc, he got too much fucking money. This motherfucker got too much fucking money. And they didn't like it. They couldn't accept it. And now you want to separate from it. So now you got the possibility of taking what you did for us elsewhere. Because there are other brands. Like I think Diageo is number 4. They're not even number one. I forgot what company was number one, but what if you go to our number one competitor? Oh hell no, man! We got your ass going to jail, Diddy. you think you ready to take this shit out? You is going to jail, my brother. Straight up. At least we gonna try. And we're gonna use the media. We're gonna turn the world against you. We're gonna turn your own community against you, Diddy. We're gonna ruin you, Diddy. That's how these people operate, yo. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. But it's another video I wanted to watch. So Piers Morgan had choke no joke on here, right? And I wasn't feeling, yo, man. Like, I be tired of these token type black dudes. Like, they try to present themselves like, you know, they with the shit. But these guys ain't with the shit. They ain't with the shit for real. Is this it? No, that ain't it. Hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you new. If you want to support the platform, Cash App Baltimore Swag, man. Support the movement. Support the movement. Where that video at? I watched it this morning. Is this it? This one. Diddy don't own none of that, yo. He walked away. That's what I'm saying. It's like these people won, and they still was upset. He walked away with nothing. I mean, he probably got a couple of dollars, but he ain't walk away owning nothing with them no more.
I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Man, y'all know we've been exposing him for a while.
Are we talking about names as big as Diddy potentially? These are crimes
That's what's up, Ryan.
so serious that it would likely leave Sean Combs in jail the rest of his life, or nearly for the rest of his life.
I think he has an out option, and that is popping the cyanide pill.
If he wanted to kill himself, he would have been dead already.
But I mean, you might have said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, you didn't wait for the best part yet. He's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze
That
with
shit fucked
claims
up. We talked about it in the
these
beginning of the
events
video, Ryan.
and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations.
I talked about it in the beginning of the video.
About Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. And we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview.
We're going to talk about it.
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly.
Is that Mo? What it is, Mo?
Uncensored. But, like the proverbial prize of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. We apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly putting together an O.J. Simpson-style legal dream team to defend federal charges on sexual assault, sex trafficking, and racketeering. So it looks like he's going to need all the legal help he can get. Well, last week, Houston attorney Tony Busby held a bombshell press conference to announce he's representing 120 alleged victims of the rap mogul, during which he gave new and disturbing details.
We talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred. It's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old.
Yeah.
We have an individual who was...
I don't know how people like him sleep at night. Him, Gloria Elred. Like, how do you sleep at night knowing good and goddamn well you lying? What's up, Edward? You know you lying. You know you making all this shit up. Yo, it's some wild people in this world, y'all. For real. They'll sell their mother up the river for a couple of hours. They don't give a fuck. Like, this man know his lawsuits is full of shit. Haven't filed none of them yet. But going on multiple platforms, grandstanding like he got a motherfucking rock solid case. confusing the world. Got people confusing the freak offs for the Diddy parties. Like, I can't stand his ass.
He was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs.
No, Jenny
in
Major.
these cases
It ain't that.
were
No,
minors
Jenny.
at the
That's
time
bogus,
of
Jenny.
the acts complained of.
That's bogus.
In a moment, my panel will dissect and debate all of the latest developments, shocking developments. But first, I'm joined by attorney Tony Busby, who you just heard speaking there. Mr. Busby, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I want to read you a statement overnight from Janice Smalls-Combs, who is Diddy's mother. It came by her lawyer, Natalie.
I don't want to hear from him.
In a particular modus operandi, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, its numbers are staggering. You've also said that there are other big names that will come out in relation to these charges. He says the day will come.
Now.
You said this when you start naming names. When will that day be, and how big are these names that we're talking about?
You know, people are very interested in that, of course. That comment has been repeated back to me, as you might imagine, many times. People are, waiting with bated breath, hoping that, I'm going to name these big celebrity names. But I can tell you this. I look at it in this context. If you attended one of these events, and we're talking about, we've heard about the white party and the freak-offs and the after parties, but there's also, impromptu parties at studios, after parties from...
Yo, see, that's what I'm saying, yo. Freak-offs does not belong in the same sentence as the white parties. That's how they confusing everybody. Freak-offs are freak-offs with him and Cassie. These parties are typical parties that every rapper have. Every entertainer have. They typical parties. So I told y'all, and I explained it on the last live we did last night. What we're going to see, if he named any names, it's going to be, say, me, you, and a couple of us at the party. We got a girl. We all drinking. She get too drunk. She pass out drunk, sleep. She was drugged. Diddy was, you was there. I was there. This person was there. Whole time we ain't drugged nothing. We just got all drunk and she couldn't handle her liquor. That's what these lawsuits is about, y'all. Bogus. Bogus lawsuits. It's bogus lawsuits. These are adults. And then you're going to have the ones when they talk about people that want to get into the rap industry. And I said, yo, if you greedy enough to where so you will do anything to get on. You'll do anything to get on. Anything. Y'all, you understand what I'm saying? Do I gotta say it again? Anything. Can you be mad at people for using that against you? Who's worse? Who is worse? The person that'll do anything to get on, or the person that'll use it against you? If you do anything to get on, and a motherfucker use it against you, are you a victim? Like, that's the real question, y'all. If a person would do anything to get on, and the other person to use that against you, can you then claim victim? I don't think you can, y'all. Like I say, y'all, if I go out here, and I start, hold on, my computer right down. If I go out here, y'all, and I get on some super gorilla robbing shit and doing all type of wild shit, I gotta accept anything that come along with it. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew there's a possibility I can die out here. I ain't bulletproof. So if I get killed, am I a fucking victim? Hell no, not in reality. I ran in this bank trying to rob everybody. I got killed by a security guard. I ain't no motherfucking victim. I knew what I was doing. I knew there was a chance I can die from this. I got charges, bro. Big ones. That can't get expunged.
From concerts, album release parties, hotel parties. I mean, the list goes on and on. But in my view, if you attended those and you saw or knew that somebody was being given drugs, that their drinks were being drugged, and you sat by and either participated in some of this activity or encouraged this activity or allowed it to go on and helped cover it up, or were in the room while it was happening and said nothing and did not intervene, and perhaps attended more of these parties knowing that this type of conduct was going to occur. It's my
so you can't even go to a party, yo. So basically what they saying is you can't go to a party. You can't go to a drug-filled sex party. That's illegal in the United States. Where everybody is grown. Well, at least they coming in. You never know. Motherfucker might slip through the cracks. That's some shit they gotta deal with. You know, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about everybody is grown. And we coming into we know at Diddy parties get wild. You know Diddy parties get wild. What the fuck is you there for? You want to get wild too. At least you want to witness it. At least you want to experience it. You want to get the vibe. Yo, you can't claim victim. You can't claim victim, yo. That's insane that's what they doing, yo. That's what this lawsuit says, y'all. So when people get to talk about 120 lawsuits, he's talking about that. We all party together. We all consumed the same drugs. We all consumed them. Now, if somebody passed out and got touched or something, yeah, that's a crime. That is a fucking crime. Straight up and down. But if you got passed out and ain't nobody bother you, you just woke up the next morning still there, yo, that ain't no fucking crime, man. You was just, look, my tolerance might be higher than yours tonight. You know, I drank 3 drinks, you drunk 2. You know, you couldn't handle your liquor, you passed out. That's not my fault. But that's what they trying to sue Diddy for. That's what they trying to mention these other people for. That type of stuff, y'all. So y'all, that's what I want people to understand when they talk about these lawsuits. These lawsuits is not freak offs. It's totally different. Totally different. Not the same. They don't belong in the same sentence. The freak offs is what Diddy was doing with Cassie. And it may be other girls. Who knows? But it's not Diddy parties. Yeah. If you get robbed, that's a crime too. But is it worth life in prison? Like, you know, is it worth? You're right. It is a crime, but is it worth this? Is it worth this big? You know, this what they making it out to be? If you go to a Diddy party, get too drunk, get robbed, wake up, you ain't got no money. Like what? Like how much time should you get for that? Should you get sued for millions of dollars for that? How much is that worth on a lawsuit level? Couple thousand? Triple what you had in your pocket? Like, I don't know. Yo, but they trying to sue this man for millions of dollars. These lawsuits are frivolous. Exactly. Nah, the Diddy party wasn't no prequel to the Freak Offs. The Freak Offs was different. The Freak Offs was different. Everybody not invited to the Freak Off. You know, it could be it could be a prelude. You know, but it probably was only a few people. You know, I think Diddy did the Freak Offs with his main girls. You know, Cassie, Young Miami, maybe allegedly. You know, girls that he dealt with on a, you know, this my girl. Like when he was dealing with 50 Cent baby mother, she probably was involved in a few freak offs. Because that's how he operates. But I don't think everybody was there during these freak offs. I think freak offs is shit Diddy did on his personal time. But they confusing the two. So when you hear freak offs and you hear all these lawsuits, you think he had all these people in freak offs, men and women. Nah, yo, like that's ill. I don't think that's what it is. Yeah, he gave him a choice. It's either you take the drugs or you leave. And they took the drugs. You're not a victim in that sense.
View. That may not be the criminal justice system's view, but it's certainly my view that you're complicit. And we intend to name people.
Yeah, it was intentional.
We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So,
yo, how can the same man, see, this is the shit that pissed me. That's why I'm ready to skip through him. We don't need to hear nothing else from him. But how can the person who announced 120 lawsuits talk about what's hurtful? This could be hurtful to the person. This could be hurtful to their career. Yo, you just announced 120 lawsuits that you haven't filed. And you talking about what's hurtful to somebody? What's hurtful to a person's reputation? What's hurtful to a person's image? You don't give a fuck about that, bro. Like, why are you sitting here playing word games? You understand? If you felt like that, you wouldn't have done that shit, man. He wouldn't announce nothing until he had it filed. But let's fast forward, because this not he not even a problem. This where the problem start right here.
Why is Dave McCormick spending millions of his own money to run for Senate? He's pushing huge tax breaks for the super rich like him and would help corporations rip us off.
Hey, Jersey Mike, you named after a motherfucking restaurant.
To bring down costs.
These may look like dentures or partials.
I bet you don't own it.
In fact, it's some of the newest dental implant technology.
Joining me now is the producer, director, and hip hop.
Fuck Jersey Mike, fuck out of here.
And the uncensored contributor Esther Krakau. Esther, we've been sitting there. My jaw would have been dropping if I wasn't doing the interview. Your jaw was dropping about what we were hearing there. Some real extraordinary detail about this Houston lawyer's 120 cases. What struck you from what you just said?
I think the most shocking thing, and you saw my jaw drop when he said there are just as many men that came forward as women, and that actually it looked like the systemic abuse of men started really to ramp up in 2015. And I can't believe it. This is a complete monster, not because of the gender of his victims, but because clearly he had no limits. And I would actually, say that with regards to what his mother said, the statement that she released, she's clearly in denial, right? Because you can't have this wave of people coming forward and this much evidence, even from the Cassie video, and still say that your son is.
Well, that's interesting.
That's
because,
bizarre.
If I hadn't seen that video, I've always taken the view with all of these things, particularly since the whole Me Too thing blew up. You've got to wait for justice to be carried out. You've got to see due process take place. I think it's so important. But when I saw that video, when I saw what Diddy was actually capable of, in plain sight in a hotel corridor. With this girl that he was just beating up. That was so shocking that I thought that, wow, this guy, A, he's not the person I met several times, who was very charming and nice. He's somebody very different. And B, he's probably capable of pretty much anything.
Well, you know what made it worse? The apology video afterwards, where he didn't mention Cassie's name once.
No.
He sat there and pontificated about how he.
It wasn't an apology, was it? It was more of a, I'm in the shit here. I need to get out of it.
They just piling on
it. It's just horrendous, and I think his mother is quite clearly in denial. I think on some deep level, she knows that this is a product of a household that she and I'm assuming his father ran. I never really think that people who are predators on that level just do it because, somehow they get power and they can get away with it. You really have to have a mentality.
Yo, how the fuck did this girl just blame his mother, yo? Like, yo, how did she just blame the man's mother? Yo, wasn't nothing wrong with Diddy mother, that letter she wrote. Wasn't nothing wrong with that letter. She was 100% true. She feels the same way I feel. Like, yo, just because you see him on video doing what he did, that don't mean everything else is true. That's all she said. Yo, but you got all these platforms, I think, intentionally mischaracterizing the letter. They doing it intentionally. Yo, there's no way. I'm not smarter than all these motherfucking people. These motherfuckers got degrees and they done went to Harvard and Yale and went to the best of the best schools. There is no way my level of understanding is that much better than y'all's. Like, yo, come on now. They intentionally misleading, misdirecting. Yo, what Diddy mother said in that letter was, my son wasn't honest. Sometimes, he wasn't honest. He wasn't forthcoming about the Cassie video. Cool. I'm not saying he perfect. But we ain't gonna say he drugged 120 men and women and all these people are victims. No, we ain't ready to do that either. We ain't ready to do that. And that's all she said, yo. She didn't say nothing more, nothing less. but they characterizing it as something else. Yo, I'm gonna let her finish. This the part of the video that pissed me off.
Psychology that's imbued in you from a young age. He either grew up in an environment where respecting
Now we can pay attention to both.
was just not a thing, or he was entitled and raised this idea that actually if you amass enough power you can get away with systemically abusing people. And I think we actually need to look at the households that produce a lot of these predators, a lot of these serial rapists and sexual assaultors, than just looking at them as individuals who've decided to go rogue. It's much more systemic than that.
Let me bring in Choke No Joke. Now
his ass pissed me off too.
Entourage at a commercial event a year ago, where he was welcomed like a king by fans and industry people. We got some Muley of that. You know, this is Diddy as we knew him before the scandal erupted. It was actually
right. Ain't nobody forgetting about the election.
CNN of him beating up his then girlfriend at the time. Are you as stunned as everybody else? Choke No Joke about what's happened here to Diddy?
First of all, let me say hello to you, Piers Morgan. I am surprised at a lot of the allegations, but I want to correct you. I wasn't a part of his entourage. I was there independently, documenting as I do. And
come on, y'all. We should be at 19K by the time this video over, y'all.
Yeah, I was there to document.
You only like 100-something subscribers away.
Unless I'm mistaken, you have attended these freak-off parties at the invitation of Diddy on occasion. And there was one party, you said, where Diddy tried to come on to you and looked at him like he was Beyonce in a bikini.
Yeah, it is, HB.
You were invited by Diddy personally, an industry after party. He said there were also women there who were known in industry to be gay and so on.
This Piers Morgan shit.
When you say you're not...
He connected to somebody.
Let me clear that up, because you, like, mashing a bunch of stuff together. All right, one, it wasn't a freak-off party. It may have been. I'm not sure because I didn't go inside. But I wasn't invited by him. I was actually with Little Kim and Hillary Weston, who was Little Kim's manager at the time. And we went to the BET Awards, and then we went to the after party. At the after party is when Diddy or Sean Combs invited Kim to meet us at the CEO Steve Rifkin's house. When we went to Steve Rifkin's house, which would be that after party,
you know, they might have brought in
that's where Diddy came on to me at.
Oh shit!
And there was a lot of people there, but I was on the outside, the back porch of the house.
Diddy came on to him.
I never went inside. So whatever
Diddy a wild motherfucker, boy.
I didn't get to see.
And when you say Diddy,
but he did come on to me.
Yeah, but to tell me about that, man, what happened?
Hey, ain't no footage coming out, bro.
As far as what?
You still thinking footage coming out?
He just made a pass at me, and I denied it, all with looks, and that was it.
How did you respond?
Yo, is he fucking serious? Yo, is he serious? Yo, I gotta stop cussing so much. Yo, these guys, they be pissing me off, though. The man said he made a pass at him. He said, so what did he do? He just made a pass at me, all with looks. Like, what he winked his eye at you? What he gave you like a head nod to come upstairs? Like, what did he do, bro? Like, the people want to know. Like, you can't say something like that. Then don't elaborate. I would see what the fuck he do. Shit, he made a pass at you. Let the people know, man. Keep it real. Yeah, man. Did he pull the Terry Crews on you? Yeah. Did he do him like the executive did to Terry Crews while he was in front of his wife? Like, yo, we try to know, man. Straight up. You can't just say something like that and then don't, give us the details. You are crazy, man. For all we know, I think you lied.
And, that wasn't it. Once I realized that he was hitting on me and I looked at my environment and realized that most of the people there were gay or bisexual, then I caught on to where we were at, and I went and I grabbed Hillary Weston and I pulled her outside and I told her, hey, Diddy's over here hitting on me. Go get Little Kim. We are leaving. And that's what we did.
because there have been a lot of rumors about Diddy's sexuality, and I think it's only relevant in the sense that the lawyer I just spoke to in Texas says that half of the victims that he's representing are male, which would suggest here that, and they're all connected in some way to Diddy.
Appreciate it,
obviously
man.
claims at this stage, but that would certainly suggest that Diddy is at very least
He
bisexual.
get Terry Crews.
I would believe that to be true. From him passing on to me, a straight man
Damn.
hit on a straight man.
But
can I say one thing in regards to your last guest that was saying that his mother's in denial? I don't think that's a fair statement for her to say, and I don't like the fact that she said he was raised in a household with a mother and father and blah, 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 because I'm a guy that grew up in the projects. My mother always made sure I did right. My father always made sure I did right. But when I got on outside of the door of the other threshold, the streets told me different. And I did a lot of things that my mother couldn't even fathom today that I did. So when she says that, you know, his mother's in denial or she may be part of the reason for his behavior, a lot of our behavior comes from being in the street and
hold on. I think you misunderstood
and I don't think
what I was
that
saying.
was a fair statement.
I think you misunderstood what I was saying. First of all, of course, individuals are responsible for their own actions, but individuals are not dug up from the ground or hatched from eggs. They're raised in homes. They're raised with values and cultures. I'm not blaming his mother in any way, shape, or form, but any parent whose child is accused of these sorts of crimes will undoubtedly just reflect and think, is there anything that I could have done? That's all I was insinuating. And also, she is in denial because we've all seen that Cassie video. Someone who is capable of treating Cassie like that, dragging her around like a rag doll. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be shocked when allegations of this kind come forward, particularly with the stuff like 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his home.
But that's why they leaked that tape. That's why they leaked that tape, yo. See, this is what I be trying to tell y'all, how they kill you and they kill your image. They leaked that tape to make everything else seem believable. The feds leaked the tape, y'all. Like, what type of, that's why I told y'all they playing COINTELPRO games. This is COINTELPRO part 2 or part 3. But they said back then that shit was illegal. But they still running the same games. They leaked the tape to make everything else believable. If this man is capable of doing something like this, what else would he do? What else would he do? He blowing up cars. He whipping Cassie ass, which was wild. I don't respect it at all on any level. But that don't mean he did that shit. You feel me? Like, yo, you can't put that man. So just because he did what he did to Cassie, who they was in a relationship, it could have been domestic, you know? I done seen relationships, it get wild sometimes. You feel me? Both ways. I done seen men being abused. I done seen women. It gets crazy. You understand what I'm saying? But that don't mean he was drugging women, women. That don't mean he was doing any of that. Like, oh, come on now. Like, we gotta keep that shit real at some point.
What is he doing with all of that? And secondly, those poor babies that have been deprived of their moisturizer, right? At some point, if you're looking at it objectively, you cannot be surprised after that Cassie video came out that he is also capable of doing the things that are being alleged against him. That's not to blame his mother. That is to say that if you're looking at this objectively, which of course she won't be able to because it's her son, you have to believe there's an element of denial there. That's not to say that people who grew up in situations
here's the truth.
will always turn out this way.
The truth is we don't know, right? We don't know. I think it's perfectly
she
possible,
definitely a sellout.
Said that you can be one thing with your parents, but if you then get out on the streets and you get led down various bad places.
Piers, what the fuck you was a part of?
You're the one in denial to
you got a lot of money. You probably had to play the game too.
But the truth is, we don't know. But look, she won't be the first and won't be the last mother to defend the indefensible.
That was funny.
Son, let me bring in Andrew here. You're a former federal prosecutor. We've heard from a civil case lawyer who's got 120 civil actions. And I said to him, has he seen stuff that passes the bar of criminality? It's very hard to say because you need to go through the whole process of building a criminal case. Mm-hmm. From everything you're seeing about this case, do you think that there is
Cameron would have got him.
Any doubt that P. Diddy is going to end up going to prison for a long time?
There's a mountain of evidence against him, and the federal prosecutors who brought this case, especially in the complex way that they did, are sure to
it's a mountain of evidence.
Convictions along the way. I think that their charge sheet is
and nobody's saying evidence.
Years and years of evidence that they have deeply investigated at this point that will lead to undoubtedly convictions, and that will lead to a significant amount of jail time. That said, there are going to be battles along the way, both in the criminal realm as well as the civil realm, because the devil is often in the details. So the prosecutors as well as the civil attorneys are going to have to prove their case, and in most of the situations, they're going to have to prove it on kind of a day in, day out basis. On this date, this specific thing happened. The general idea that there were orgies that happened, or the general idea that drugs may have been present, or some people did drugs, some people had feelings like if they didn't do this, they wouldn't be able to advance. Some of that stuff is not going to...
Yo. He says some people had feelings like if they didn't do this, they wouldn't be able to advance. Don't get me wrong. They can, people can install those type of fears, but who fault is that? We're going to charge people for installing fear in other motherfuckers. United States been installing fear in countries for fucking how many years now? We deemed like the greatest country in the fucking world. Like, come on now, Like, so that's the charge now of installing fear. That's a charge. That's a crime. Okay.
Actually raise the charges with sufficient proof to prove either in the criminal realm or the civil realm. They're really going to have to get those criminalized elements, or in the civil case, things that look like criminal actions, the kind of removal of consent, or the pushing through these acts without consent present. And when you see over 100 people in a civil lawsuit, certainly there is concern that people are jumping on a bandwagon. Perhaps they were present and they're just saying that something non-consensual happened in one of those situations. So each of those cases are going to have to be tested. And I think the final point on, especially with Mr. Busby speaking earlier, saying that there are others that might be involved. I think the feds are going to be looking at all of those people involved and kind of giving them an option. Were you a victim? Are you somebody who we can have say something against Diddy? Or is this something where you're part of the conspiracy and we're going to add charges? Similar in the civil case, he's not naming names. Is he trying to reach hush money kind of settlements here? I think that as
exactly what he's trying to. He already said it.
Forward the narrative that there were many people involved. We want to hear those names, and we want to be assured that there's not hush money agreements going on, and that he's not simply dangling the idea that he's going to drop.
Installing fears is assault.
To reach a settlement.
Yeah, I mean, on Fox News, their lawyer Brian Claypool said if Combs doesn't testify in this case, he's dead on arrival. Would you concur with that?
Testimony is something that I guess it has only some value to it, because of course he's going to deny it if he were to testify. I think what the case really comes down to is the corroborating evidence. It is difficult when an alleged victim goes in and simply testifies that this happened to me. And
I have a documentary out called The Hip Hop Nucleus, a documentary on the tunnel, which is out right now. But that I've been in the club since Diddy was performing at the tunnel. I've been shooting him before he was a millionaire. So I've seen all these guys come from nothing and go to millionaires, to multi-millionaires, to billionaires, allegedly, right? But
he a hater.
Throughout my travels in the industry, once I got to a certain point, like BET, I started to notice a different change in the industry where it was more of gatekeepers, and I had to succumb to homosexuality. There's drugs being passed around, and I don't do these type of things. My mother's a recovering addict over 30 years, so I would never do drugs. But yes, these things
now he is saying too. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And the sexuality is a part of the culture, and if you don't succumb to it, like myself, my career suffered because I didn't succumb to homosexuality or the drugs.
I mean, Esther, it's...
Well, that's yo, that's what I was talking about on that. That sounds like to me that this is how they wanted to run. So if this is how they wanted to run, who the fuck are we to get involved? This is their game. This is their game. They set out the board. they pick the pieces. Who are we to get involved and to say, oh, this is not right? This is how they wanted to run. It's been running like this before us. It's going to be running like this after us. We is never going to see a situation where they bring the whole house down. We're never going to. Now, you're going to see every now and then they're going to pick one out the group and he's going to go to prison or she's going to get in trouble. But, yo, we are never going to see a situation where Rome falls down. Not happening. The London Bridge is never falling down, y'all, because this is how they wanted to run. If they preying on kids, wild as it may be, that's what the fuck they want to do. It's fucked up. It's sad. It's disgusting. It's all of that. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If that's how they want it to go, it ain't stopping. It ain't stopping, yo. It's fucked up, yo. And it's obvious that something is going on, even with the children. Look at the children that came into Hollywood early. Look at them now, yo. All of them is fucked up. All of them. Lando Brown, Justin Bieber, all of them is messed up, yo. It's sad as a bitch. But I'm going to tell you one thing we ain't never seen yet. We ain't never seen none of these parents of these children ever get in trouble. That's what makes me believe that it's status quo. Because if parents start getting in trouble, it stops. You know, the pill mill, for lack of better words, stop. Because they don't want to go to jail. You know, they don't got the protection. They ain't got the money to fight these cases. They don't want to go to jail. But if you start going after the parents of some of these kids that gave their children to the industry, yo, this shit will slow down. I'm telling you they'll stop, but I don't think that's what they want, y'all. I don't think that's what they want. So that's another video I wanted to watch. So Chuck No Joke had some words to say about Jaguar Wright. I haven't seen this yet. So we're going to watch this because I'm sure he probably said something that need to be talked about because he's a fucking goofball. Yo, hell yeah, Disney one of the worst. You see how many lawsuits, yo, been on Disney employees? How many children been missing from that was missing? They went to Disney World and went missing. Like it's a whole documentary on that shit.
All right, Mr. Choke No Joke, we had to have you call in. It seems that there's a little bit of interference, or somebody has issues with you.
Men don't know what's going on with her. Well, I know my truth.
Right.
I know that I've been trying to tell the truth in the industry for the last 20 years. And it ain't to now that people are listening, and all these other people like her and, Cat Williams and everybody's calling truth tellers. I've been that since VHS tapes, since DVDs, before there was YouTube. She's talking about the situation with the Big Papa video, that I'm just doing that to gain subscribers. I talked about that before there was even a YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this.
I'm gonna play it.
I ain't watched it either. I just heard about it. I don't want to see that shit either.
What was talked about?
Yeah.
And not worried about the truth. So what are your thoughts when you see a Choke Is No Joke on, I forget the shot of the podcast I had him on, but he speaks on... I wish somebody would choke that joke. Damn. He tried to exploit the transvestite that was on the Biggie video. No, he wanted to sell a story that he thought would get him higher subscriptions on YouTube. I would choke.
Oh, so she hating. She hating on him. See, that lets you know, yo, that lets you know what we dealing with, yo, especially with Jaguar Wright. Look like he on the same tip. Everybody is trying to use this Diddy situation to give these fabricated stories to get people to buy into them. So now they can get interviews, and now they can be on this platform and that platform. Now they can kind of revitalize their careers. And man, I don't like nothing about it. I don't like nothing about it. Like, yo, it's either you keeping it real or nothing, yo. Like, I can't stand these people, man. I get pissed off even at the people that interview them. Like, why you keep bringing these people up here to say nothing?
he knows the whole truth and he's not telling it. He's telling he ain't no different than Brother Bilal.
I say he been telling it.
So the way I see it, man, it seems like she's just calling you a liar, just straight out the gate.
How can I be lying when she say I know the truth? Where would I be lying about?
She's saying as if like you hiding the truth, so therefore you are, I guess, a form of deception.
And what truth am I hiding?
I don't know. This is why I wanted you to call in to clarify, you know?
Okay, but if she's making accusations that I'm not telling the truth about something,
yeah,
what am I not telling the truth about? Anybody that knows me know I'm the truth teller out here. Everybody else is doing it now because it is it's fashion.
All right. So they saying
the,
choke no joke. Been telling it.
It's the hot thing to do.
Right.
But when telling the truth wasn't fashionable, when it wasn't safe for your career, you know, when it got you blackballed, who was out here telling the truth? Me.
Yeah.
Oh, you got if he always been doing it. If he always been doing it, you gotta salute him. That was one of my drawbacks with Jaguar Wright. It looked like to me, yo, she ain't start if everything is the truth, she didn't start telling it until her career was over. I think she participated in it. I think she was part of the problem. I think she was one of them people that was hell-bent on greed and would do anything to make it in this industry. And I think people used it against her. And I think she upset. I think she's upset at Mary J. Blige. You know, she speak about her a lot because she probably thinks she's supposed to be where Mary J. Blige is. I think she's upset with Beyonce. I think she's upset with Jennifer Lopez. I think she's upset with a lot of these female artists because she probably was told that's where she's supposed to be. She probably was promised those positions. And she did things under the assumption that this is where my career was going to go. And it never materialized. Because if it was really about the truth, and if she was really standing on truth, in 98, she should have been saying this shit. 98. Don't wait till 2020. Now you 40 years old and the writing is on the wall that your career is over. Now you want to, no, I can't fuck with that. I can't get with that. I can't support that. And I don't respect it. For real. You said Orlando Brown made her admit it. Yeah, I can't fuck with that, y'all. But y'all, we almost 2 hours in. Y'all appreciate everybody that tapped in. Y'all, if y'all want to support the platform, y'all, the Cash App at the bottom. Cash App Baltimore Swag. My bad. I was eating pretzels and shit. We go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure y'all here every day, Monday through Friday. Monday through Sunday. I just dropped the video early on why so try to make sure y'all catch that out because I think YouTube is not sending out my notifications on my uploaded videos. I don't know why. It's crazy, but I don't think there is. And what else? I think that's it, y'all. It's another day of Keep It G News. Appreciate everybody, and I'm out.